Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you my pages and layouts for the month of July. During the past couple of months I have been feeling the need for a change, so this setup is going to be really different from what I normally do, but I hope you like it anyway. For July, I decided to challenge myself and to go back to the basics almost. So for this whole setup, I will only going to be using 3 pens. A Muji 0.38 gel pen, a 005 Pigma Micron pen, and for the accent color, this blue Tombow dual brush pen in the number 533. The theme for this month is black and white leaves. Starting with the cover page, I'm using the Muji 0.38 pen to do the stem of the leaf, and I'm not applying any pressure to the pen, and I'm doing it twice to look even more like a real stem. Then I'm using my 005 fine liner to do the actual leaves. I'm doing this oval shape with sharp ends for each leaf, and I set a limit of only 4 plants per page so I can have a maximum and not exaggerate on the number of leaves, and to also keep it simple. Now I'm doing this illustration on the bottom of the page to create my theme, and inside the leaves I'll fill them in with these straight lines coming from the ends to the center. This format for the leaves was inspired by My Life in a Bullet. She made these beautiful lotus flowers for her May setup, and I got the idea of doing the same format but in leaves. And also, this whole minimal and simple vibe was inspired by her. I'll be doing this technique for all the leaves because I think it looks really beautiful and is simple to do, and it gives the leaves some dimension. The whole idea of doing leaves for this month was inspired by 𝚒𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚗𝚘. I recently found her channel and I completely fell in love with her illustrations. All the supplies used and inspirations are going to be linked in the description. For the title, I'm doing this really simple font that I also saw on 𝚒𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚗𝚘 channel that I feel like is a good alternative from the calligraphy titles that I always do. And for the pop of color, I'm doing this border on the edges of the page using my blue Tombow dual brush pen. For my calendar, I'm drawing some leaves at the top and one at the bottom, and in the meanwhile, I will show you some of the recreations that you guys did, inspired by my June Pride Month theme. As always, I'm extremely grateful for everyone that liked my work and that took the time to recreate it, and thank you so much for making me happy and for seeing some talent in my spreads. At the right side of the calendar, I'm writing July using the same font as before, and now I'm using the blue to draw the headers of the calendars where the days are going to be. First, I tried painting the strokes slower, but the better way of doing this is by just going all at once with a pen. And I don't know if it's clear for you, but it will look better once I went with a fine liner over the calendar, but I'm doing all my layouts with rounded borders because I also felt that rounded edges would look better in this minimal vibe. Next to the calendar, I added a tasks and goals section, and to wrap the page up, I did the blue border around the page and I underlined the tasks and goals titles. The next 2 pages are more health related and are inspired by My Life in a Bullet again. First, I'm drawing this leaf that crosses the pages at the top and 3 at the bottom, and the first page on the left is my habits page. I'm keeping this page pretty simple as usual, and I'm doing 5 rectangles with rounded borders, 1 for each habit. And I'm doing this layout because it's the most simple layout for individual habits and because it looks very minimal. Christine from My Life in a Bullet has these calendar stamps that she uses to add the days for each calendar, but because I don't have that, I wrote the days by hand using my fine liner, and I think it looks pretty too. The habits that I'm going to track this month are learning, water, no junk food, workout, and read. On the next page, I decided to try something new, also inspired by my life in a bullet. It's a smaller calendar where you take note of everything related to your health. I'm going to use this calendar to track the days that I went to the gym and what I did there, how I felt that day, kind of like a mood tracker, and other stuff that I want to track. This calendar can also be used to track your moods in more detail instead of just how you felt on that day. This whole health department was also inspired by Elizabeth from Plant-Based Bride because she always talks about how physical and mental health are important, so I decided to create a space to track those things in my bullet journal. So I'll try to use this calendar this month and I'll show you the result at the end of the month on my Instagram. My next page is my expenses page, and I have been wanting to change this layout for my expenses, but I never know what other layouts I can try. But at the same time, it's just for me to see where my money is going and for me to not forget to buy something. So I'll probably keep using it until I find one better, but until then, here is my expense tracker that I've been doing since forever. I also decided to enter this bubble of minimal spreads and themes because I have been overwhelmed with what theme to do, and in that mindset where I have to create new pages and to do a better theme each month and to be super creative. And I talked about this on my last video. If you haven't watched it, I'll link it in the cards for you. But it's a video where I show you how I plan a theme in my bullet journal, but also because I decided that my next bullet journal is going to be a plain notebook without dots, which is going to make me really think twice before I do a theme or a spread, and it's going to help me slow down a bit and to only do things and spreads that I really need. And I also don't have the behind the scenes, as you can say, of my July setup, but if this is the thing that you would like to see every now and then, like how I plan a theme in my bullet journal, I'll probably do it for August, but let me know in the comments below. Next to my expenses, I have a summer bucket list page. I made this list for July, but I have been using it throughout June already because it's really handy. I divided the pages into categories. One is to write things that I want to do in the summer, the other is to write places I want to go, and the other is to write things that I want to buy. And I'm also going to show you what things are on my list on my Instagram. And now I am just adding the borders around the page, and it's amazing how just a single line around the page can make the page look more put together. And this was actually an idea from my friend that he did on his June setup, so I will link it in the description, but thank you for that. Finally, I have my weekly spread, and I knew as soon as I made that horizontal weekly spread for June that I was going to regret it, and I was right. Horizontal weeks just don't work for me anymore. I don't know why. So this month I'm doing these big rectangles for each day of the week, and so I can have more space to write my tasks and events. I really hope you liked my July setup. This is not normally my style, but I want to explore this minimal and simple side of me again. And also, the good thing about bullet journaling is that you can change your style whenever you want, depending on how you feel. So that's what I did. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, check out my links in the description, subscribe to the channel to support my work, and I'll see you in my next video.